Remember the old girl? She's not looking so pristine and immaculate now. Could do with a bloody good wash. That would certainly fail a corporate inspection. But it's done well over 5. It's done about 560,000 now. And as you'll remember, I used to use it at. We two-timed it. I drove nights, Kirsten did days. You wouldn't know them, but I've carried a lot of famous people in that car. Winston Peters is a New Zealand MP, Member of Parliament. He went over on a junket and he was lampooned and pilloried, so to speak. He had what do you call it? He went over and saw Condoleezza Rice. And he was, I don't know, I think he was secretary of. He was a second in command. He was what they called a kingmaker because he got in under the mixed member MMP, mixed member proportional representation or something. Anyway. These are everyday names that every Kiwi knows. Winston Peters, Shane Jones, famous rugby player, all black captains, Colin Meads, Brian Lahore. They're in their 70s and 80s now, all retired. It's quite funny actually. I went to a rugby match in Auckland, a place called Eden Park. Maybe he's having a pee. And the members the marshals, they'd blocked off the way leading up to the main gate and sort of closed it off to traffic. And I rolled up in the taxi, and that had the corporate logo on it and the decals and everything. And I said, I'm here for a pickup. And I said, I don't care if you are picking up the Queen of England or the Prime Minister of New Zealand. You are not allowed through there. And I said, what about Colin Meads and Brian Lahore? Great rugby greats in New Zealand and worldwide. And she says, right, move the cones, let him through. Screw the Queen of England and screw the PM, but rugby legends, yeah, they can go through. Winston Peters, Annabelle Langbein. You can Google any of them in New Zealand. You'll see that they're in the public eye. I've had all the TVNZ news reporters, TV1 News, which is the main news station on TV in this country, probably as well known as CNN might be in America, or Fox. But One News is probably closer to Fox alignment actually in terms of support for politics, but sort of a bit on the right side leanings there. Yeah, so an awful lot of famous people, and now it's a dog box, which is just as well because they're all getting so old now. They go 50 yards from the front gate and they demand a corporate to take them home. So, but if you're not a dog lover, you probably wouldn't appreciate the humour. Anyway, so yeah. But the other thing too, we just spent $900 on it about 6 months ago, giving it a thorough servicing. All the fluids were changed, all replaced, all checked. And then last month I took it down for a warrant of fitness, which you'd probably call it, I don't know what you call it over there, wherever you might be. But it's warrant of fitness. It's a 6 monthly check to make sure the car's not dangerous and wheels aren't going to fall off and that sort of thing. And no sort of gaping great rust holes. And I took it down and it failed it. And it needed a new drive shaft bearing. It's done 560,000 k's, over 500,000. So it needed a new drive shaft bearing. It needed and it needed a new wheel bearing on the driver's side, on the right side. it needed a new wheel bearing, and that was affecting the brakes, because the brakes were spongy, and I said to my wife, you shouldn't be driving this, it's not bloody safe. So I said, we'll get it up there and get it looked at. And that's what they found, something to do with the bearing pushing on a back brake disc or something, and it was about to shatter. So I did the wheel bearing. So anyway, done the drive shaft bearing, done the drive shaft, a couple of new tyres on the front, and we're up for about $1,700, $1,600 all up, Kiwi dollars. And she's driving like a puppy again. Doesn't use any oil, the head's never been off. I think we took it over about 200,000 as I remember. And the head's never been off yet. It's all been maintained, but we sort of neglected it a bit in the last couple of months, last few months, 6 months, year maybe. Because a lot of focus for a year after it retired. I was driving the Caprice, if you remember, the Holden. And but yeah, she's if you have a look at the old bodywork there, hit a few bugs and got a few chips. Oops, there's my finger. Stone chips, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's just been running around. Anyway, now down at Lake Carapiro again. Oh, and by the way, it's, what's it, Monday the 11th or something? What have I done at work? Anything? Nothing fascinating. I went and did me all-nighter on Sunday night, as I said, well yeah, I'm happy to do it and see how it goes. And it turns out it was only temporary, while the guy who usually does it had a couple of other things on. So. But, yeah, 160. Not bad for a Sunday night, I suppose. And I made that in 6 hours up until about midnight. But from midnight on, it was just one job until about 5 a.m. And I pulled up and I had a nap for a few hours. So, yeah. But I mean, it was Sunday night and I was the only car on for the Rotorua district. But you make your money on, it's like everywhere else, you make your money on the busy nights, don't you, on the unsocial hours. But yeah, nothing fascinating. Situation normal, all fucked up. And the other thing too about this car, since my wife normally drives it to her work, I've decided, oh look, the rubber's hanging out right here. See, look, I'll tuck that in a minute. When I pick the dogs up and put them back in. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to make a point of driving this car once a month. Because if I don't keep an eye on things, the wife will drive it until the bloody wheel falls off. Oh, far out. Women, eh? Absolutely no idea about cars. Well, my missus anyway. I guess she takes after her mother. And my mother, for that matter. Oh well, Lib, where shall we go now? Shall we go down to the other end, shall we? Okay, all for now, I think. But they're quite happy lolloping around. There's no one around here. This is one of those areas that, it's a recreational area. People come down here for Sunday picnics. Down at Bulmer's Landing again. Oh look, the moon. It was bloody cold last night actually. It was 7 degrees. Can't focus on that one. Okay, oh well, there you go. That was on 8 times focus. Digital zoom. I'll bring it back to normal. Really cold. It was 11 degrees at one point last night, and I thought to myself, well, Struce, this is supposed to be summer. But it's typical New Zealand, 4 seasons in one day. Because we're through our cold point now. We should be. Some days have been warm, but the trouble is because it's such a long country, and if you look at the geographics of it, where one end is that close to the Antarctic, and the other one's that much closer to the equator. You know, you get a stiff breeze coming in from the tropics, and it gets hot and steamy and muggy. You get a stiff breeze coming up from the Antarctic, you can bloody freeze. Anyway, on for now. Where's my dogs? Oi, you old fat. Yeah, you. Okay, toodaloo.